Hi. So today's my birthday, and I love my birthday. I love to celebrate, not just like for me, but as an excuse to get everybody together to do something really fun. And I'm thinking a lot about what this channel is and how we show up and how we interact. And my focus for the past year has really been to work on being my own best friend. And so that's one of the things we're going to do together. Today, we're going to start off by reading out of this book. And if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see this book come up a lot. It's a book that was recommended to me by a woman named Glow, and she's a vibrant soul. And it's something that sits on my desk, and I read out of it often, not every day, but most days. And today is January 28th, which is my birthday. Um, and the book is really beautifully curated. I love all the colors of the pages and the messaging, and some are a little bit longer and some are short. And today is live life with abandon. This is one life we all got. So, above all else, live it with unbridled abandon and open hearted curiosity. Be brave. Allow creativity to be your guide. Live as no one else is watching. Dance, play, sing out loud. Make it the kind of magic that dreams are built out of. And that could not talk to me more. Like, if there were a passage that was written for me, that's probably it. So it's really kind of cool that it happens today, January 28th. But also, it makes me really think about what it's like to live life with abandon. And so, not to be worried about people's perception, or not to be worried about taking risk, or not to be worried about any of those other things that we're so programmed to worry about. And we have these conversations with the humans in our life about lots of things, right? One of the things that we talk about with our friends is like what's happening in our life, right? And like you kind of give each other like the breakdown of like, here's the monotony, here are the things that are happening, here's how work is, here's how family is. And it's all perspective and it's all perception. And so, like, you could look at me last year when I was in the throes of burnout and be like, man, her life's awesome. Like, she's living the dream. But my perception of life was very different because I was burnt out and I was feeling empty inside. And now, 6 months later, it's like I'm a whole new person, like on the inside and on the out. And it's really, really neat to go through and experience what it's like to choose me and to choose to live my dreams. And before, I always thought I was living out my dreams because I was working towards achievement or milestones. I was working towards an exit. I was working towards a title. I was working towards a revenue number. And now it's that same drive, it's that same purpose, it's that same want, but it's for the things that matter to me. It's for showing up as my own best friend. It's for helping other people to have tools and processes to be mindful and to set intention with their life and to stop getting caught up in the swirl of every day, whether it's your calendar or your Teams pings or the things that you've committed to or your roles or responsibilities. Like, what are we actually doing? And so I think yesterday I spent a lot of time reflecting just kind of like on the year and how I felt and what's happened this year. And today I'm really thinking about being intentional and what is my perception of what success looks like going forward, right? So when I first started, and sorry, I'm like, I don't know, a little in my throat today. It's very cold here and it's been cold for days. And so when I think about the like what I want to do, what my heart feels, what my intentions are for this year, it's very much centered around making my dreams come true. And what I mean by that is for me, when I first started to record the podcast, I was talking with a podcast manager, Zoe, who's still my podcast manager, and we were talking about what would success look like for the podcast. And she was kind of talking about numbers and all this stuff. And I was like, if each episode, one person, just one person, could listen, have an aha moment, and something shift in their heart, that would be a huge win. And so as I think about Lead with Heart and I think about me really focusing on my own business this year and really working on my stuff and working on the things that I feel passionately about, it looks a lot like freedom of time. It looks like hard work, and hard work is totally fine. I love to work and create and build. But it looks like creating genuine human connection with people to help them see in themselves that being mindful about who they are, what matters to them, how they want to go forward is really critical because we only get this one life. And there's no do-over button. And there's no that we know of. Maybe I'm wrong, and that's totally cool. And I hope to be proven wrong. Maybe. But also, like, today is the only day that I will have. That's my 46th birthday. This is my only opportunity to capture today. And what does capturing today mean, right? Like, who am I spending my time with? How am I showing up for myself? How am I feeding my mind, my body, and my spirit? What am I doing? And if you're not doing something that's feeding your soul or feeding your purpose, what are you actually doing? I mean, I've been in jobs that I didn't love, and I've had to do things I had to do because we all have to make money and we have to survive. And that's totally, I totally understand that. Um, but there has to be time to feed our soul as well. And your purpose, your intention, and your mindfulness is really key to this. Who are you filling your field with? In 2021, I took a class about social educators, by the same woman who recommended this book. That was where I learned about it. Her name is Glow. And she when I took the class, there was a group of, I don't know, probably 15 of us, and we were all trying to figure out how to show up on the internet and educate and share some knowledge. And I learned a lot, and I had lots of big ideas when I took the class. I was just, my first startup had just failed. I ran out of money, and COVID had hit, and I was trying to figure out how to reinvent myself. And I really love to teach and train. I've always been the person who figured the things out and taught people what to do next. And I'm the process queen. I can proselytize anything. If there's a process to be had, it's happening in my brain probably faster than people can spit out their sentences. I like to create structure and order to allow freedom. And I've always been the problem solver. Like, in every job I've ever had, no matter what my title was, I solved problems. And so when I took this class, I met these wonderful humans, and it was everything from like a quilter to a doula to someone who was focused on travel to someone who was helping people with their businesses, someone who was a yoga instructor. Like, all these people were trying to figure out how to show up and educate the world with their gifts and their passion. And I didn't know it at the time, but they were absolutely just working on being their own best friend. They had invested in themselves. There was a community, there was a group with intention, and their perception on the world is that they could make an impact, a positive impact, based on what they were doing. So fast forward all these years later, in December, I took a class with Glow again. And this class was about YouTube. And this is actually why I'm doing this YouTube channel today. And it was about how you show up on YouTube and how the world of social media and um, is changing, right? Like, the influencer, and my intent is not to be an influencer. My intent is to teach and train, and to help people become the best version of themselves. And part of doing that is you have to show up on platforms like this and let people get to know you. And I actually kind of love that. I love that I'm going to show up every day and talk to you guys about whatever it is, as though it's my best friend on the other side of the camera. And so I was in her class, and she said to me, she's like, wow, you've come so far. Because if you look at my milestones between 2021 and today, they're radical. They were like wild milestones that I hit. And yet I was feeling more empty than ever. But there was a moment on that training, and again, it was probably 25 or 30 people, and everybody is trying to show up as the best version of themselves and trying to figure out where they fit in this world and how they can support themselves by doing their passion, by helping other people, and by fulfilling their dreams. And I think there's a space for that for everybody, whether you're a welder and you love to weld art, or whether you are the best plumber on the block, and by solving gnarly problems and helping people to have running water in their homes, that fills you up. Or if you're an artist and you paint beautiful paintings that make people feel deep emotions. Or if you're fantastic at spreadsheets and financial planning, and you can make the difference in a company being able to make it, and get through hard financial times because you can shift around spend and recognize revenue in other places, whatever that passion is. And I think we're all given these incredible wide berths of passion. And if you can combine that with what you're good at, again, and what brings you joy, that's where that nucleus of like intention and authenticity and perception, where all of that purpose lives, that really cool gnarly ball. Mine is probably neon, as you can tell, and swirling really fast because there's a lot of stuff in it, and it probably looks a little like space particles, because there's all these nuanced things happening. When you can come to that and realize that whatever it is that you're doing, however you're showing up today, whatever version of you is the best version of yourself in this day, how do you maximize that? How do you seize the day? How do you, even if you're working your 9 to 5 job and maybe it doesn't fill your soul, what can you do to grow this thing that is you? Is it volunteering in your church and lending an ear to a family in need? Is it listening to your friends and fully listening authentically? What can you do to drive this purpose? That's kind of the thing that we all have to figure out. I believe we're all given a gift. I think that you come here with a special gift, and I think there's something that you need to bring to the world. And the first step of that is figuring out who you are, what makes you tick, what you're good at, not what you do because you're the only person in the room, the only set of hands that can do it, but really what really makes you thrive. And so as we think about today and we think about whatever's going on in your world, get a piece of paper and jot down just 3 things that you really love. My 3 things are wonder, adventure, and genuine human connection. And I think that the work I'm doing with MC Speaks and Art of Heart and Lead with Heart encompasses those 3 things so magically, that I get to show up every day, spend time with you guys, share with you what's going on in my world, what I'm reading, what I'm learning, what I'm listening to, and build this genuine human connection and hopefully awaken a few hearts along the way. So as you go into the day, I'm going to read the quote one more time, to really let it sink in. Live life with abandon. This one life is all you've got. So above all else, live it with unbridled abandon and open-hearted curiosity. Be brave. Allow creativity to be your guide. Live as if no one else is watching. Dance, play, and sing out loud. Make the kind of magic that dreams are built of. Go be the best version of yourself today. Do something for yourself. Be your own best friend. Happy Wednesday, everybody.